Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the market. We'll start with the daily chart here in the Dow Jones Transportation and go through all the products I normally cover. Look at this Dow Jones Transportation after this massive morning, well, kind of a morning star, right? A big lower wick. It takes off 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row here. Now we got this candlestick that looks a little funky, you know. A little funkiness going on there. Is it going to run out of gas? No. I think it will soon. There might be a little bit more left in this. Okay. But it already eclipsed the high here, 16,050. Got above that, got up to 16,132. So a pretty good push forward, or upward, I should say. Almost got to 16,200. Oh, I shouldn't say almost, but, you know, a good ways there. And might run out of gas soon. Might. The moment this thing is sitting in bullish territory and continues to show bullish behavior. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. And I've got the universe indicator turned on here so you can kind of see it's the same indicator for all the charts. It doesn't change with the chart. It's just universal data, or universe data, I should say. Solar system data. And you can see it's saying, hey man, we're supposed to be going that way. And guess what? We kind of are going that way. Okay. Russell 2000, I mean, look at this candlestick. It's very similar to what we saw in the Dow Jones Transportation. These two have been tracking each other pretty closely. The Russell 2000 Transportation had been neck and neck, very similar behavior. It too looks like it could potentially run out of gas here in the next few days or week. Up over here, it got up to 88. Here it got up to 71, and right now we're at 66.5. So there's some room to go here. I think it's going to go a little bit higher, and then probably run out of gas. We could see like a really late little pullback, but it probably won't be super deep if it does that. Okay. Then over here is October 15th. Okay. So you know what? We can, since we're right here right now, we'll put it over here, October 15th. Let's do it. October 15. Let's make that one green, yeah. And this one over here is November 19th. Okay. All right, for now, Russell 2000 still looks bullish. Let's go check out the NASDAQ. What's happening over there? A little bit of a pause. And the NASDAQ has kind of been leading the way on the other indices whenever there seems to be a behavior change. And, you know, that's a bit of a pause right there. Yesterday was a down day. A little pullback going on. Now we got a red day. Okay, very interesting. The Dow Jones Transportation and the Russell 2000 both had green days, but not here on the NASDAQ. A red day. So it just looks weaker to me. And if you look at the momentum, it's tracking right on the zero line. So will the NASDAQ lead the way down? Yeah, I think it could. I think it could. We're looking at the wrong cycles here. Let me get the right cycle. And there's your daily cycles, October 16th. I think that's still valid. Let me look. Yep. October 16th there, November 13th there. This little blue cycle could come into play here, October 8th. So I'll go ahead and put it in there. Seems like that cycle's kind of reliable there. Just looking back across the chart, that cycle looks like it's fairly reliable. So I'll put it in there October 8th. Okay, so that's that one. Yeah, green one, 16. This one out here is the 10th, and then the other one's the 13th. I'm just going to keep the 13th on there. These two are really close. So that's the deal with the NASDAQ. I could see a little pullback coming into like September 23rd for the NASDAQ. So the next, 4 or 5 days, I could see a little pullback maybe happening here. All right. Let's go take a look at the Japanese market. Look at the Nike 225 futures. Definitely the weaker of all the indices is the Japanese market. It's still in negative territory. It never got positive once it went negative over here. You know, whatever that was, kind of early part of September. All right. So it actually never really went positive even. Okay, the last time it crossed over was way back here on July 30th, and it crossed over, went negative, crossed over down here in negative territory, okay, and then came up here and tried to cross over, but both lines did not cross over the zero line, and it now is fading. So the Japanese market looks weak to me. Okay, I think it's going to stay weak. I think it's going to get up here. It's going to fail. Looks like even though the SMI is trying to bounce, the market, Japanese market's just doing the sideways thing. I think once it gets up here, folks, if it starts to turn over, short it. Yep, I think it's a short. Not yet, but when the SMI starts to roll over, short it. Especially if this SMI dies like right here. If it dies right here and starts to turn, oh gosh, yes, short the snot out of it. I always like small to medium positions. Big positions are a bad idea most of the time. All right, let's take a look at the Japanese yen. Finally has a big down day. They had to give it up at some point. I talked about September 25th was a cycle low and that, you know, be careful here. They could start pulling back. That's, I think, is going on here. It's going to come down. I'm not sure how far it's going to come down. It could come down to 0068. It's possible. Come down into here, whatever it's going to do. Okay. And then I think as it bounces out of there in the first or second week of October, if this thing is still positive, like I've been saying, oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful long. But we got to wait to see what happens when it comes out of this cycle low, okay? For now, I just wouldn't do anything with it. I think the free ride is over here, and I would just be patient. I wouldn't short it here because it's just so doggone bullish on the momentum. I would just wait until about the first or second week of October, and if things still look good momentum-wise, I'd go long. So that's more of a wait and see, and probably a swing trade coming up. Maybe like 3 or 4 weeks from now. 2, 3, 4 weeks, somewhere in there, Japanese yen could be really good. We may find out that it just pulls back a little bit right here and just tracks sideways. That is very possible. When things are this strong, a lot of times it'll just pull back a little bit and then just track sideways right through the cycle low and then take off again. So that if it does that, that'll be if we see a lot of chopping here, and it doesn't really pull back hard, that is going to be almost always, I mean, a high percentage of the time, very bullish indication. All right, let's go take a look at the euro dollar. Also a little bit of a pullback, not quite as much as the yen. This, I think, still has room to go. Okay? Still has room to go, I think. Excuse me. Let's look at the British pound. Pretty good sizable pullback day. Very similar to the Japanese yen. September 26th. This may not get up to the top. This may fade. This may not get up there. It may just start rolling over. If it does that, that's kind of weak. If the British pound doesn't get to the top line of the SMI and starts to roll over before that, it doesn't really get up to it or just barely touches it, that's kind of weak. Now, we got very strong momentum here, but you'd have to be careful there because that would be kind of a sign of weakness creeping into the British pound, okay? So a little caution here on the British pound. We have 9 calendar days away from this cycle low. I expect this to probably pull back into here. And then if, just like the yen, if it stays bullish, first or second week of October is go time. Okay, let's look at, we'll look at the dollar. The dollar, it's just sitting in a box down, sitting in a rectangle, doing the sideways thing. Barely above $100, holding on for dear life, way down here, negative momentum. Still doesn't look good. US dollar still looks weak to me. And I think it's going to be weak for a while, and I just don't see it gaining any serious momentum. It's trying to slowly make its way up, but I just don't think that's going to have much bearing right now. I think that US dollar continues to look like a big problem. Okay? And what do I think right now? I'd wait a little bit. You can't really trade the US dollar directly anyway. You can't really trade this directly. You have to trade either the euro or the yen or something, you know, to counter, right? You counter it the other way. All right, there might be some ETFs that you can trade, but I'm not a big ETF trader. I like to stick with futures most of the time, but there may be some dollar stuff you could trade, but I would not trade it short, even though it looks like it's weak, during the time that the euro and the British pound are looking like they want to pull back, because this will probably bounce if that happens, okay? All right, let's take a look at gold. What is happening with gold? Gold is monster mashing it. 9 days away from a cycle low. Maybe we see a little pause and pull back here. Okay? And just like the other products, I mean, a lot of synchronicity here, right? With the euro and the yen, they all have this very similar cycle low here. So once they're done and it starts going that way out of October, going into October, if that happens, then I would say gold is long. Right now, a little cautious about gold, just because of this cycle timing. I wouldn't trade it long. I'd just hold up on it. Okay, crude oil. Making the bouncy bounce. Another update for crude oil. It has a bullish look to it. We do have a crossover going on down here, well below the zero line of momentum though. So this is super negative momentum. A lot of work to do to repair this damage. I don't think it's going to get it done. It's going to get up here. I think it's going to fail and start to turn over. And I think momentum's going to stay negative, whatever. Okay, something like this. That's what I think is going to happen with crude oil. I think it's going to run out of gas. Pun intended. Let's look at, I'll look at silver. Kind of should looked at it when I looked at gold, but it's okay. Choppity chop. Look at that. Oh, chop zone. Look at these two. I like to call these spinning tops. Twizzly dwizzlies. Spinning tops. Two dojis. Normally this would kind of suggest a change of direction. Probably will get something going on here pretty soon. Okay. Silver probably going to pull back a little bit here. Momentum is positive. Okay. But we do have some indications here with these candlesticks that maybe it's run out of steam and it's going to pull back. Same thing happened here. Big green days, some red days, and it kind of... Okay, I'm trying to find something late in the cycle, but we don't have something right there. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll see a pullback there. All right, let's take a look at corn. Corny corn. Corn's trying to get some legs under it. It kind of has that bullish look to it. We officially went positive momentum today. Yeah, I think it's a long here. Still a long. It's really small position, just one contract. I do think it's long. I'd be careful with this, but I do think it's a long. And that's it. I wouldn't expect a huge bump. It might get to 420, maybe. Okay? 415, 417, 418 are all great places to take the trade now. Take your 5 points, your 4 or 5 points, be happy. Okay, I do think corn's a long here. Small position though, because long term on the weekly chart, corn is still negative, so you got to be careful. Corn is still negative on the weekly chart. Don't forget that. All right, what else? Let's look at the Spider Consumer Staples ETF. It's pulling back here. But you know, we've had this pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce every time. Are we going to get that? Is that what we're going to get? I think that's probably what's going to happen. Probably going to happen. Okay. That'd be my guess of this product. It's going to pull back a little bit here and then bounce again. October 20th. Is the cycle low over here. Okay. October 20. That's what's going on there. Okay, what else? Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Look at the futures. Today was an up day. Small green up day. It did hit all-time highs here on the December contracts. Okay. All-time highs on December contract. But my guess is that the SP, let's look at the SPX. Yeah, that may be an all-time high right there. Let's take a look. Is it? Is it? I think it's an all-time high on the SPX as well. Yeah, it looks like it to me. Does look like it. Yeah. Okay. So all-time high was today on the SPX. It finally kind of came around and followed the December contract. That's pretty much what happened there. Okay. Back to the S&P 500 futures. What do I think? Positive momentum going on here. Crossed over, never got negative. Crossed back over. The fast line crossed over the slow line. Positive momentum. This looks a little bit elevated up here around 77. We've seen 88 there, 80 there, 85 there. So I think there's still a little bit of room to go here before this begins to pull back. But that candlestick right there, a little ominous. Has a little bit of an evening star look to it, kind of like that one did right over there. Okay, so yeah, September 30th is not that far away. It is 15 days. 15 days away. All right, 14 days? No, sorry, 13 days. I'll get it right. 30 days in September. 13 calendar days away for this low. So I would expect, let me just look at these cycles. We could get one of these. Track sideways does nothing. A little pullback. This is a big cycle, so we'll ignore that for a second. Big pullback here. Bing, bing, bong. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do, but I do think it'll be something's going to happen at September 30th area. It may just come up here and track sideways. It may come down a little bit. We'll have to wait to see what this does, okay? But usually in the middle of big cycles, we see a pullback. So, but for the moment, as of right now, the S&P 500 still looks bullish to me, and I don't think this is quite done yet. Okay, I talked about it yesterday and the day before that I thought there was still room to go in the S&P 500. I liked a small position long, and bingo, I was right. For those that paid attention, you made some money. All right. Where, if any, were the trades of the day on the intraday charts? Let's go take a look. Let's take a look at the Get Us Plus indicator fired up here, because you know what? This thing has been on fire for the last few years, helping us out. We can get rid of the universe indicator now. It doesn't really help us here on the intraday charts. So did we have anything spectacular going on? Well, yep, I see something already. Let's check the 15-minute chart. We'll come back to this. Yeah. Guess what? 5-minute chart's got the goods. It's got the goodies. 5-minute chart is the trade of the day. Pretty doggone good right there. 10:55 this morning. Right there. Get Us Plus indicator kicks in. We get the plum candlestick and bam. And look at this. It was already fading really hard. Look at this. It was already coming down, and you went negative momentum here on the on the MACD. Sweet trade. Okay, from about 56, I'll say, let's say 56 like 17. Say right in there, all the way down to 56.90. So 57, 17, 27 points. There it is, from there to there. Forget about the peak, forget about the bottom, just take the meat in the middle. 27, add the 2 zeros, and we get $1,350. That's how much money you made today if you just traded this Get Us Plus indicator right here to the short side. There it is, trade of the day, $1,350. Gus Wheat, and $135 for a micro. Get us plus indicator, guys. As a matter of fact, on this chart, for the intraday chart, let's see. Is it the whole day? Oh, yeah. The only signal, this is a streamed chart, by the way, to the members. The only signal during the entire overnight and through the entire intraday, except for the very, very end, was this signal. Only one signal on the 5-minute chart the whole day, and it was absolutely banging huge profit trade. Dudes, guys and gals, if you're not a member, you're missing out. Become a member, $7.99 a month. The link is in the description. Read the instructions, join. You get nightly emails with 5 charts. You get the streaming charts like the one I just showed you right here for the S&P 500, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. You get the gold streaming charts, the same thing, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. They all have the Get Us Plus indicator on there. Okay, there's the hourly chart has cycles on it, which is really nice. Okay, premium symbols every day put up on the server Monday through Thursday. Okay, I honestly believe if you're patient, the membership will more than pay for itself. Okay, some people are making so much money with this service they'll never ever have to pay for the service again for the rest of their life. Like one trade, they took care of service for a decade. Literally paid for the service for a decade. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen for everybody. I'm just saying if you're patient, you probably should make some pretty good money and easily cover the membership. All right, that's it. God bless everybody. Hope everybody had awesome trading. I'm going to be on live Twitch tomorrow, streaming live in the morning, 7 to 8 a.m. Come and join me. It might only be 7 to 7:30, 7 to 7:45, depends. I usually don't run an hour. We're going to cover all the same products, but we're going to be looking at the hourly chart and the 2-hour charts and talk about where I think these products are going to go for tomorrow's trading day. Okay? If you're not a member, join a member. Then you can come and watch the Twitch live stream. That's it. Talk to you all real soon again next time.